The Murphy agenda is both scary and extreme to taxpayers. And it's not only me saying that, it's, in my judgment, the Senate President, and it's, in my judgment, the Speaker. Both leaders of the Assembly and of the Senate, I think, have come over to the Republican side with myself and Tom Kean, and we've gathered, I think, even though we haven't had a meeting, we've gathered to stand up to this very scary and extreme agenda. And I'm going to be very specific about Murphy's extreme and scary agenda. His contract with about 30,000 CWA employees costs the taxpayers $150 million. Now, where's that money coming from? In my judgment, it's coming from the pockets of senior citizens, and it's taking the money directly out of the homestead rebate. Simple as that. And actually, the Speaker, Greg Coughlin, has called for restoring that money to the homestead rebate program, meaning that, in essence, we agree. Hetty Rosenstein specifically said in an NJ.com article that the union made no concessions. Now, let's go over that one more time. This was supposed to be negotiations. Hetty Rosenstein wrote to her members and said, we made no concessions. How is that negotiations? What that is, basically a gift to special interest. So it's a special interest gift taken out of the pockets of senior citizens and giving to the most loyal constituents of this governor. I'm sorry, well, that was me. Sorry, I thought it was me. Now, that would be bad enough, but keep in mind that that is only 30,000 state employees. There are 70,000 state employees. How much more than $150 million will it cost the taxpayers to finish paying the state employees if we've only paid, and if we paid $150 million to the first 30,000? Sweeney himself said he had great concerns about Murphy's tax proposals when he talked about raising $1.6 billion in taxes. So this is not only an extreme agenda from a Republican view, it's obviously an extreme agenda and a scary agenda to leaders on the Democratic side. And of course, we're aware that Murphy's budget ramped up spending by 8%. So clearly Murphy is in the camp of taxes and spending, which is the historic playbook of the Democrats. And I think even the leadership on the Democratic side think that's a dangerous path to go down. Now let's talk about free community college for a moment. And this is what's awfully confusing to someone who's reasonable. Why is it free? Why do the students not have any skin in the game whatsoever? Why isn't it 50% from the state and 50% from the student? Or 75% from the state and 25% from the student? It's because Murphy's agenda is extreme and it's a scary agenda on the back of the taxpayers. It completely disregards 100% the taxpayer in the state. It is the opposite of an agenda we began to follow on the Republican side, which was try to limit spending, limit tax increases. So what am I getting from constituents? I am getting from constituents the type of reaction such as this. Is he crazy? Does he not know where we are in the state? Doesn't he understand that I'm leaving the state? People are starting to give up based on the extreme policies of this governor. And let me be clear, I do not think that Phil Murphy's a politician. I think he truly believes in what he's doing. Because if he was a politician, he'd be reacting to his constituency. And I mean the constituency, all of the people in the state of New Jersey. Now, James Freeman, assistant editor of Wall Street Journal, said in an article, my clients are fleeing New Jersey like it's on fire. That's the reaction I'm getting from my constituents. They are leaving or planning to leave in droves we have never seen before. And let me say that again. The reaction I'm getting from people is people who thought they were never going to go to Florida, they were never going to Texas, they were never going to North Carolina. They are saying to me, I am done, because I am so afraid that we can't stop this runaway train of high taxes, high spending, with total disregard to the taxpayer. And it is not personal, because he believes this. He believes this is how you run a government. This is how you run a railroad. And he is totally disconnected, not only with us as Republicans, I believe he's totally disconnected with Democrats as well, and surely disconnected with the taxpayers. He has not addressed in any way any reforms that we know that are badly needed. He has not addressed COA, and COA is extremely expensive to the taxpayer. Every municipality is now plagued with expensive legal fees, incredible regulations that are difficult to figure out, and it's on the back of the taxpayers. Not one word about state-forced housing on municipalities that have cost millions to municipalities. He's not mentioned any further pension or health benefit reforms. Any reasonable person understands that without those reforms, it's just a question of time that these systems will break down. Whether it's 7 years, 12 years, or 15 years, unless we start addressing those pension issues and changing how we pay for health benefits, it will collapse under its own weight. And school funding. Once again, the reasonable Democrats and reasonable Republicans disagree with how the governor is dealing with school funding. So I think there will be a budget showdown. I can guarantee you that shutdown, I said shutdown, that's probably Freudian, but it's hard for me to understand how the Democrats could come to terms with an extreme and scary tax-filled agenda of this governor.